Mark William Lanegan was an American singer, songwriter, author and musician. He was born in Ellensburg, Washington, on November 25, 1964. During an interview with The Rocket in 1996, he said that he drove a combine harvester when he was younger. He was of Irish, Scottish, and Welsh descent. Lanegan said that he developed an alcohol use disorder by age 12 and began using drugs heavily by the age of 18, having already been arrested and sentenced to 1 year's imprisonment for drug-related crimes. First becoming prominent as the lead singer for Screaming Trees, he was also known as a member of Queens of the Stone Age and the Gutter Twins. He released 11 solo studio albums, as well as 3 collaboration albums with Isobel Campbell and 2 with Duke Garwood. Lanegan was known for his baritone voice, which was described as being as scratchy as a 3-day beard yet as supple and pliable as moccasin leather. Lanegan began his musical career in 1984 as the frontman of the psychedelic grunge band Screaming Trees, with whom he released 7 studio albums and 5 EPs before they split up in 2000. During his time in the band, he also started a solo career and released his first solo studio album, The Winding Sheet, in 1990. He subsequently released a further 10 solo albums, and received critical recognition but only moderate commercial success. Following the end of Screaming Trees, he became a frequent collaborator of Queens of the Stone Age and featured on their albums Rated R, Songs for the Deaf, Lullabies to Paralyze, Era Vulgaris, and Like Clockwork. Lanegan also collaborated with various artists throughout his career, including Kurt Cobain of Nirvana, with whom he recorded an unreleased album of Lead Belly covers. He also performed with Lane Staley of Alice in Chains and Mike McCready of Pearl Jam in the band Mad Season. He also formed the Gutter Twins with Greg Dully of the Afghan Wigs in 2003, released 3 collaboration albums with singer Isobel Campbell of Belle and Sebastian, and has contributed to releases by Melissa Auf der Mauer, Martina Topley-Bird, Creature with the Adam Brain, Moby, Bon the Bass, Soul Savers, Tina Rewan, The Twilight Singers, Manic Street Preachers, and Uncle, among others. Lanegan's first appearance on a Queens of the Stone Age album was on Rated R. He sang the lead vocals on In the Fade, background vocals on Leg of Lamb, Autopilot and I Think I Lost My Headache. Rated R became a commercial success and became the first Queens of the Stone Age album to chart. Shortly after the release of Field Songs, Lanegan became a full-time member of Queens of the Stone Age. He appeared on the 2002 release Songs for the Deaf, singing lead on the track Song for the Dead, Hanging Tree, Song for the Deaf, and God is in the Radio. The album became the band's big breakthrough and peaked at number 17 on the Billboard 200 and was certified gold by the RAA. He also toured in support for the album over the next 2 years. Lanegan toured full-time as a third vocalist for Queens of the Stone Age for support of Songs for the Deaf, joining his friend Joshua Ohm, who supported the Screaming Trees as their touring guitarist in 1996. The album received 2 Best Hard Rock Performance Grammy nominations for the singles No One Knows and Go With the Flow. In 2005, Lanegan released his last album with Queens of the Stone Age, Lullabies to Paralyze, where he sang lead vocals on the first track of the album called This Lullaby. The album was delayed during 2004 because of some changes to the lineup. Bassist Nick Oliveri was fired and Lanegan went on tour to support Bubblegum. Lanegan would later appear for the support of the album. He left the tour for a while, citing exhaustion, but would return to finish the tour with the band. Lanegan told Christina Flaco of Live Daily, "My relationship with these guys is one of the most satisfying that I've had. It's great to play with, essentially, my best friends." When he was asked about the difference between Screaming Trees and Queens of the Stone Age, he said, "It's all rock and roll to me. A band is a band. They're really not that radically different. It's all rock music." Lanegan has continued to work with Queens of the Stone Age even after leaving the band. In 2007, he appeared on their album, Era Vulgaris, contributing background vocals to the track River in the Road. In 2013, Lanegan appeared on their 6th album, Like Clockwork, co-writing the song Fairweather Friends and contributing background vocals to the track If I Had a Tail. Lanegan struggled with alcoholism and heroin addiction during the 1990s and early 2000s. In his 2020 memoir, he claimed that, at age 12, he was reviled as the town drunk before I could even legally drink. During a Screaming Trees tour in 1992, Lanegan's arm became so badly infected from heroin use that doctors considered amputation. After leaving the Screaming Trees, he became homeless for a period. He entered rehab in 1997 and again in 2006. He has credited Courtney Love, who paid for a year of Lanegan's rehab, with saving his life. As of 2020, Lanegan had been sober for over a decade. Lanegan was married to Shelley Bryan. The couple moved from Los Angeles to County Kerry, Ireland in 2020. In March 2021, Lanegan was hospitalized with severe COVID-19 and almost died. The disease had led to him going temporarily deaf, being unable to walk and slipping in and out of a coma for several months. Lanegan was a friend of Kurt Cobain and had been invited to his home a few hours before his death. He was also a friend of Anthony Bourdain, who encouraged Lanegan to pursue writing a memoir. Lanegan wrote an obituary for Bourdain for The Observer. He had a highly publicized feud with Oasis singer Liam Gallagher. In a 2020 interview, Lanegan described his beliefs in a number of COVID-19 conspiracy theories, including the idea the disease is linked to 5G technology. He also described paranoia that he and his wife were being surveilled by technological appliances. However, in 2021 he said he had concluded that the COVID-19 pandemic was a natural event and also admitted, "I was one of those knuckleheads who was wary of. But I learned my lesson. I'll be the first one to get a booster shot when it's available." Lanegan died at his home in Killarney, Ireland, on the morning of February 22, 2022.